Hello guys, welcome back to Dan's Montreal Beer Reviews. Continuing with the big beer season, and today we've got a really big and very famous beer. This is a classic American Russian Imperial Stout called Old Rasputin, and this is from the North Coast Brewery from Fort Bragg, from Northern California. This has been brewed for quite a number of years. This was featured in the Michael Jackson's book. I think that was almost 10 years ago, and the brewery dates back to 1987, so it's from the older kind of wave of craft breweries in the States. Just some basic information on the figure after which this beer is named. Grigory Rasputin, on Russian Grigory Rasputin, was a famous yet very kind of shady historical figure. By the beginning of the 20th century, he came from Siberia, and he was sort of a devoted yet kind of strange Russian Orthodox Christian with a very kind of mystical side to him as well. Some people say he could heal people, including the son of the last Russian Tsar. By the end of his life, he made it up to the royal family's palace in St. Petersburg, and he was always around family. Half of the information about Rasputin is very kind of weird and unproven, and some of it is probably all myths and rumors. But by the end of his life, he got assassinated, and yeah, very, very tragic kind of historical figure. This should be a nice, bold Russian Imperial Stout, very classic, 9% ABV. So even has a Russian saying here in Cyrillic. It says something like, "The warm-hearted friend would not be born out of a sudden." Old-time proverb. Okay, so enough about rumors and myths and history. Let's review this wonderful beer and see what it's all about. Okay, let's get into my big snifter glass. I bought this one in Albany last April when I last saw Chad from Chad's Beer Reviews. So it's been aging for about a year. Excellent, excellent looking beer. Very dark brown, almost entirely opaque, non see-through. Very nice, kind of very creamy brown head to it. Up front, it's all kind of roasted malts and dark chocolate. Full of that, a bit of vanilla, slight smokiness to it as well, maybe a hint of coffee as well. Smells like a true classic Russian Imperial Stout. Alright guys, let's try the Old Rasputin. The first impression is so good that I'm just, tempted to call it the best Russian Imperial Stout I've ever had. We'll see how this performs on the long scale, I guess, but so far, really nice, creamy texture. No trace of alcohol, rich on the roasted malts and chocolate. I'm getting both milk chocolate and dark chocolate notes. It's mostly it's that kind of creamy, milky texture up front, and then at the back it's more kind of dry and bitter. A bit of prunes, a bit of raisins there. Even getting a slight hoppiness. Well, what can I say? This is everything I thought it was and more. Of course, there are lots of new breweries that are sort of trying to outshine all the other Russian Imperial Stouts with their own version. But this beer is just a very classic and super solid, super flavorful, really big Russian Imperial Stout. It doesn't claim to be the most funky and kind of creative version of the beer style. It's just everything you'd expect from the style and more. It performs well in every single aspect. Nothing burnt there, no trace of tobacco kind of qualities you get sometimes in stouts and Imperial Stouts. Very drinkable, very tasty, enjoyable. I'll be back. This must be love at first sip, quite frankly. This is just a very, almost perfect example of the style. It is a beer of tradition, it is a beer with history, and I think the name really suits it well, and so does the saying here in Russian, as I've said. The only thing I might have not enjoyed as much in the beer was that it's kind of roasty, and it gets a little bit close to my limit, personal preference of roastiness, I guess. It's just, I guess, if you like coffee or if you're a huge chocolate fan, you probably not have a problem. But I'm sure a lot of people will find this beer hardcore in its own way. It's big in the mouth, it's very full flavor, you get a full body. The sweetness is definitely spot on, so is the carbonation, very nice and gentle. Some Russian Imperial Stouts are hugely carbonated at first, and then you have to wait till they sort of settle down a little bit. So overall, very well balanced beer. Good bitter backbone, good malt backbone with some nice sweetness. Really happy I finally got to try it, and I think it's a really good beer to sort of relax, kick back and enjoy a couple of these. Perfect winter warmer, but you can have it any other time of the year as long as you like beers like this. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 for Old Rasputin, or Rasputin Russian Imperial Stout. I think it's one of the best Russian Imperial Stouts I've had. It was definitely love at first sip. Not, exactly entirely perfect, but very, very close to that. Thanks for tuning in this time around. I'll see you guys in the next episode of DM's Montreal Beer Reviews. Check out my Facebook page, just search for DM's Montreal Beer Reviews. Help me out a little bit, please. I really need your help at this stage. Cheers, guys. Stick to good beer. See you next time.